لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. And here we are a couple of weeks away from the end of Ramadan or after the end of Ramadan, and it's very difficult to see, and it's very clear to see the difference in the morale and in the attitude between Ramadan and 2 weeks later. And it's really only for those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses and blesses that they can continue after Ramadan with not the same attitude, but maybe close by and close to it, and try to make their life more productive, and try to make their life a vehicle to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all these things happen by the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he who thinks that can do it on his own is wrong and naive. So we should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us on the path and to give us the strength to proceed and continue in His pleasure. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam always said, one of his famous dua, Ya muqallib al-qulubi, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Oh, the one who flips the hearts, keep my heart straight and firm on your deen. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep our hearts firm and strong on His deen. Going straight to the topic of tonight, and we proceed with these lectures trying to explain some of the fiqh principles and jurisdictions, jurisprudence of Islam. And we are talking in the transaction still, and today will be the end of a specific part, and that is some kind of transactions. And next time we will start very significant and very important topic, and that is riba, but not directly riba, but we will be talking about loans, okay, debts, borrowing money, borrowing other than money. And this is one of the major things that a lot of people have confusion about, and it's really going to take us a few weeks to go over it, and because it's so important and so significant, and each one of us needs to know about it. Okay, so inshallah you make the effort to make it. If you couldn't make it previously, make the effort to make it for the next few weeks. A lot of information and a lot of valuable knowledge that a lot of us are unaware of, and you will be surprised how easy a person can fall in riba, and how many things that we think are riba and they are in reality they're not. Okay, so very important, inshallah, we make the effort to come and invite others who might be interested in this. Today we will finish with Bab al-Salam, and we talked about the Salam last time, I think, and we started about it. Today we will try to talk about another type of transaction, and we will see how we can fit and how we can apply those into a society where we can avoid the riba. Okay, because they say, you always hear, if the bank will lend you money without making profits, what is the point? How can he do it? Why someone would give you a loan without making any profit out of it? So that is why we see the lack of help. That's why we see that people don't help anymore. No one wants to give loan for husna. okay, or loan just for the sake of Allah, usually he wants a return. Why are you going to give you $5,000 and freeze those 5,000, and then a year later you're going to pay me 5,000? Maybe I can invest those 5,000 and make money. So that's why we see a lot of people falling in riba. And we see a lot of people putting their money in banks, in saving accounts and in CDs and all that, to even now some checking accounts will give you riba and will give you an interest and return on your money. So all these things, we will see how you can apply this chapter as well as the previously mentioned chapters into a society and into financial aspect of a society, to see how Islam came to regulate, how you can lend money and get something in return, and at the same time it's not riba and it's all halal. So, and this is Bab al-Salam is one of those things. What we talked about Salam last time before Ramadan, we said Salam ala عقد موصوف في الذمة, okay, عقد موصوف في الذمة بثمن مقبوض في مجلس العقد. So just very quick understanding and reminder of this kind of transaction. We said this transaction is you buy something, okay, exactly described, which you will get in the future, but you pay for it on the time of the agreement, or in the time of agreement. Alright, so if we're sitting here making some kind of agreement, you're sitting in a room making some kind of agreement. If you are making agreement of salam, what that means, so if we are we are meeting together to make a transaction, this kind of contract, this salam. So I buy from you and you sell me something, alright? Now, when we say salam, we mean that I will buy something from you, you will give me later, but I will pay you now. Alright? And we will see how we can apply this into financial situations and how it can be very beneficial. So I have the money, I give you the money to sell me certain products that you will give me at later time. Okay? That's what we mean by salam. But before we move on to see how we can apply this in Islamic-based financial ideas and financial practical ways, then we need also just to continue with the Mu'allif Rahimahullah Ibn Qudamah, just to go over the next points that he made about Aqd al-Salam, that we need to understand when this transaction takes place, when this contract is agreed upon, there are things we have to avoid, and there are things that are permissible to do. So we go with the Mu'allif Rahimahullah, where he said, في باب السلم ويجوز السلم في شيء يقبضه أجزاء متفرقة في أوقات معلومة وإن أسلم ثمنا واحدا في شيئين لم يجوز حتى يبين ثمن كل جنس ومن أسلف في شيء لم يصرفه إلى غيره ولا يصح بيع المسلم فيه قبل قبضه ولا الحوالة به وتجوز الإقالة فيه أو في بعضه لأنها فسق. Okay, we will take, these are some of the rulings concerning this kind of contract. Okay, again, just to make clear that we understand which contract we're talking about. We're talking about you buy something from me, you give me the money on the spot, and I will give you the product at later time that we agreed on. And in that time of the agreement, we describe exactly what you're going to give me. Right? For example, you come to me and you say, I'm going to buy from you 1,000 pounds of sugar that you're going to give me, okay, sugar, let's say white sugar, specific kind of sugar, you're going to give me in 3 months, and I tell you, okay, that will cost you $1,000. So I give you give me the $1,000, in 3 months I give you your 1,000 pounds of sugar. That is exactly what we're talking about. Okay, and we will see how that can be so beneficial, because someone will say, why are you going to give my money now and get my product 3 months later? We will see. But before we move on, let's see some of the rulings. He said, يجوز السلم في شيء يقبضه أجزاء متفرقة في أوقات معلومة. The example I just gave about the